Dwyer is live in Wilmington tonight. So Shane, you were actually there when the storm hit back in September, right?
Lindsay, myself, Jessica Jewell, and the rest of our 10 News crew were here in Wilmington when Hurricane Florence made landfall last fall. And what a difference it is now to be out here when the hurricane is not here and they're getting ready for beach season. That's what people are excited about right now. But there are still plenty of people that are still dealing with the aftermath and the effects, trying to recover and clean up from Hurricane Florence. And they're looking forward to this hurricane season as well and what they can do to better prepare. One of the things they found themselves with was being cut off. This region of about 300,000 people cut off because of flooding, like you said, and that was a major wake-up call. Hurricane Florence delivered its punch and Wilmington survived, but things did not get easier once the storm moved out.
I think it was very real. I think the utility authority was going to have an issue with fuel. We were working hard to get them the fuel that needed.
That's New Hanover County Emergency Management Director Stephen Still. The water treatment plant was running out of fuel, and flooded roads put running water at risk of being shut off.
They would back up and they would try different routes into the county. And it was during that time that we soon discovered that we were an island.
What nobody anticipated was that we were going to have a slow-moving storm that was moving at 3 miles per hour. It was over 400 miles long, and that would stay on top of us for literally 48 hours.
Wilmington Mayor Bill Saffo says unprecedented flooding shows the infrastructure is old and needs work. He's become the face of local governments lobbying for upgrades, and last week was one of his many trips to D.C.
It's critically important to be able to get people in here in the aftermath. And so when you can't get people in and you can't get people out, it creates a tremendous amount of havoc for the people that are here.
Saffo wants Interstate 95 and Interstate 40 raised in areas that flood so that they're more resilient and that this never happens again. He says inland growth and climate change have a direct impact on his city.
You're talking about civil unrest. After about 4 or 5 days, people will take issues in their own hands.
Still's team found a way to get the gas in, and the water never stopped flowing. But it was unneeded stress they don't want to have to deal with again.
Where was the point of failure? Water, fuel, transportation, infrastructure, and as you're going back up the line, where can we do better?
Mayor Saffo has been in talks with members of President Trump's team and folks at the White House, but he warns that even if a deal were to be inked tomorrow and money were to be allocated, it would still be years and many, many hurricane seasons before any of the project would actually get to be completed. So as they look forward to hurricane season coming up this year, they're making extra preparations, knowing that they may possibly face the exact same situation that they're in now if another storm like Florence comes knocking on their coast. Live in Wilmington, North Carolina, Shane Dwyer, 10 News, working for you.